thousands of rape victims not getting their chance at justice despite a new state law, a law we helped get on the books after finding thousands of rape kits sitting on shelves not tested. The law is supposed to make sure those kits are tested, but we found in many cases that's not happening. June 5th, 2013, new hope for thousands of Colorado rape victims as Governor John Hickenlooper signed a law requiring rape kit testing in Colorado. More than a year later, the state's Director of Forensic Services, Jan Gurton, says it's working.
This new law is and has been successful, and it's been a good thing for the victims of the state of Colorado.
But the CALL7 investigation that prompted that legislation now finding thousands of kits may never be tested, a revelation that surprised the bill's sponsor, Representative Frank McNulty.
Is that what you intended?
No, we intended to have all of these backlog kits tested.
The law required the Department of Public Safety to come up with rules for testing all active backlog cases. But the rulemaking committee never defined active, saying ultimately it will rest on local agency decisions.
The idea that they're defining and redefining terms to narrow the scope of the kits that are tested is troubling.
Even if a case is defined as active, the kit still may never be tested. By law, all new rape kits in Colorado must be analyzed. But we found the guidelines for backlogged rape kits are different, and 60% of them didn't make the cut.
So there was a number of criteria that we looked at for prioritizing the sex assault kits.
So CBI decided not to test certain cases, including those that had been prosecuted and those that were outside the 10-year statute of limitations.
The idea of having half of the tests be made ineligible for testing was not the intent of the legislation, and certainly wasn't my intent.
Why not just test them all?
Well, in the outsourcing project, we are limited by money and time. If we have funds available and we determine that there's enough cases that maybe we do need to go back and ask for more money from our legislators, then we will do that.
They need to ask for the money, and the legislature needs to appropriate that money. Otherwise, there's simply no excuse. We need to make sure that these kits are being tested.
The criteria for testing is not written into the law, so it can change. And McNulty says the legislature can appropriate more money for the project at any time. CBI is required to finish testing the backlog by next June.